The show begins with a girl named Juwon. We see her teacher teaching the alphabets and asking each student to provide a word that starts with a random letter. While the other students give plenty of words, Juwon struggles and can't give the correct answer. The teacher then points to the word window, but instead of saying window, Juwon blurts out widow, which was actually her dad's situation. Her mother had passed away, and she shouts to everyone that a widower can do anything, including giving her a brother. The teacher is left confused about how to explain what a widower is to the children. Next, we see Jong, Juwon's father. As we see, Jong runs a small restaurant and is an excellent cook. When Juwon comes home from school, Jong picks her up, and the other kids tease her by asking if her dad will really give her an older brother. This angers Jong, and he asks Juwon, who told her that he is a widower. Juwon mentions their old neighbor, Samin, sitting nearby. Jong explains to her that she shouldn't believe everything Samin says, as she could lie too. The two of them then go for a walk, and Jong tells her that if she truly wants an older brother, he would need to go on a blind date, though neither of them fully understand what that means. As they walk, they see a family moving into their building, the family of Mr. Kim, a police officer. Mr. Kim has a son named Sana, and when Juwon sees him, she runs up to him and shakes his hand, calling him Big Brother. However, Sana pulls his hand away, uncomfortable with her actions. Jong talks to Mr. Kim and invites him to his restaurant. He asks if Mr. Kim's family consists of just 3 people, since Jong and his daughter live on the 2nd floor while Mr. Kim's family is moving to the 3rd. Mr. Kim laughs, but his wife, overhearing, becomes irritated and asks why they are talking about their family so much. At home, Sana's mother continues to shout at Mr. Kim and Sana, throwing household items in frustration because she didn't want to move to this new place. Hearing the commotion, neighbors call the police. When an officer arrives and sees Mr. Kim, they quickly apologize for not realizing it was his house. Mr. Kim asks them to meet him at the police station the next day. As the officers leave, they discuss how Mr. Kim's daughter passed away recently, which is why the family moved here. Hearing this, the neighbors become less concerned about the argument and return to their homes. Jong later explains to Juwon that she should never bring up Sana's sister, as it could hurt him in the same way it pains Juwon to hear about her mother. Just then, Jong sees Sana sitting on the stairs and invites him inside, but Sana declines and heads home. Then we see Mr. Kim talking to his son, reassuring that Sana's mom is not angry, just hurting, which is why she reacts this way. The next day, Jong sits with Samin, who shares that Sana's sister died last year, and his mother blames him for it, which is why he remains quiet. Hearing this, Jong feels sorry for Sana. We later see Sana sitting outside her home, eating raw noodles because her mother didn't cook for her. Juwon notices this and tells her dad, who quickly prepares a delicious dish for her. Juwon takes the food to Sana, but he still doesn't want to talk to them, quietly returning home to eat. The following day, Samin arranges a blind date for Jong with a woman named Miss Kong, who arrives with her son, Hye-jun. As they approach Jong's house, Jong accidentally spills water on them while cleaning outside the restaurant. Juwon returns from school and everyone gathers at Jong's house. When Juwon learns that her dad might be getting married and she could have a stepmother, she protests loudly, insisting she only wants a brother, not a mom. Samin takes Juwon and Hye-jun outside so Miss Kang and Jong can talk. Miss Kang is impressed with Jong's clean house and cooking skills. She feels guilty for not being able to take better care of her own son, as she is often too busy with work and doesn't know how to cook. Meanwhile, Samin, suffering from stomach pain, rushes to the washroom, leaving the children to wait. Juwon, still upset, leaves Hye-jun alone, not wanting to talk, and heads back home. When Sana leaves, Hye-jun follows her, trying to talk to her. Meanwhile, Juwon overhears 2 boys walking on the street gossiping at Sana. They claim that befriending Sana would bring bad luck because children without a mom or dad are unlucky. Hearing this, Juwon angrily confronts the boys, but they push her down. Hye-jun joins the fight to defend her, and eventually, Sana steps in as well, hitting the boys. The fight escalates until their parents arrive and break it up. One of the boys' mothers demands that Juwon apologize to her daughter. However, Juwon stands her ground and explains what the boy had said about her. Embarrassed, the boy's mother realizes she had taught her child those ideas and decides to drop the matter. As she prepares to leave, Jong steps in and asks the boy's mom and daughter to apologize to Sana as well, which they do before leaving. After the fight, Hyejun smiles at Jong, clearly beginning to see him as a father figure. He wanted to stay with Jong, and Jong invites him and Sana over for lunch. At the meal, Jong serves Hyejun repeatedly, while Juwon amusingly takes food from her dad's bowl and shares it with Sana. Everyone enjoys the moment together, but Jong later escorts Hyejun and his mom to the bus stop, asking Sana to take care of them. Juwon and Sana go to the park to play, where Juwon teases him by chasing him with an earthworm, causing Sana to run and laugh for the first time in a while. Watching from the window, Sana's mom is clearly displeased. Afterward, Sana visits Juwon's house, and they look at a family album. Seeing Juwon's mother in the pictures, Juwon explains to Sana that if he misses his sister, he can always look at her photo. Later that day, Sana, now missing his sister, follows Juwon's advice, staring at the family photo and eventually falling asleep. Meanwhile, at the bus stop, Miss Kang is with Hyejun, and Jong has packed some food for them. However, Miss Kang receives a surprising phone call. Back at home, Juwon tells her dad she doesn't want him to remarry, and Jong reassures her that he wouldn't do anything to hurt her feelings. The next day, Jong learns that Miss Kang changed her phone number after leaving. Samin suspects that something bad happened to Miss Kang because she seemed to like Jong and his family before. It's later revealed that Miss Kang is indeed in trouble. She leaves Hyejun with her aunt, promising to come back after earning enough money, and departs. The next scene we see Mr. Kim and his friend coming to the John's restaurant, where Samin advises Mr. Kim to take his wife out to cheer her up and prevent further arguments. Juwon also tells Mr. Kim that she invites Sana to lunch with them again, to which Mr. Kim happily agrees, hoping it would make Sana feel better. Jong receives a call from Miss Kang asking for financial help, and he agrees to assist. She gives him the address of Hyejun's aunt, and when Jong arrives, he finds the house in terrible condition. Hyejun has been living in squalor, surviving on instant noodles. Jong feels heartbroken and gives Hyejun the food he brought. Jong asks Hyejun's aunt if he can take care of Hyejun until his mother returns. The aunt agrees, and Hyejun, already fond of Jong, is happy to go with him. Meanwhile, Sana returns home from school and confides in Juwon that his mom is not truly angry, but in pain, which is why she doesn't speak to him much. However, when Sana arrives home, he finds his parents fighting again. His father had planned to take his mom for a walk, but when she found a family photo in Sana's drawer, she became upset. She blamed Sana for their daughter's death, accusing him of doing nothing to save her when both children were alone in the house. Now, every time they interact with the neighbors, she becomes more upset, especially when Sana seems happy with Juwon. Mr. Kim tries to reason with her, reminding her that Sana is only 8 years old, but she refuses to listen and threatens to leave the house. Sana, devastated, begs his mother not to leave. He promises he won't play with Juwon anymore, won't eat at their house, and won't be happy, but she locks herself in her room, leaving Sana in tears. Juwon, on the other hand, is not pleased about Hyejun staying with them. She becomes furious when she hears Hyejun refer to her father as Dad, especially when Jong agrees to let him do so. Her jealousy intensifies, and she becomes angry with both her father and Hyejun. During dinner, Hyejun was eating quickly, savoring the food since he hadn't had such a meal in a long time. Juwon, feeling jealous and worried, lies on the floor and starts crying. She fears that Hyejun's mom will join them soon, a situation she dreads. Meanwhile, we see the 3 children in their homes. Hyejun is delighted to be with his dad, but Sana is restless all night, troubled by thoughts of his mother. The next day, Sana tells Juwon that he won't play with her or eat with her anymore, leaving her heartbroken. Just then, Sana's mom steps out of the house with her bags, preparing to leave. Juwon, noticing this, asks if Sana can come play with her. Sana's mom angrily asks if she considers him her brother. When Juwon confidently replies, yes, Sana's mom becomes even more furious, telling her to keep Sana because she's leaving him forever anyway. Juwon, thrilled, doesn't realize the gravity of the situation, but Sana is left crying as he watches his mom walk away. From that moment on, Jong takes on the responsibility of caring for all 3 children, Juwon, Hyejun, and Sana. Time passes, and the 3 grow up together, transitioning into high school. Hyejun becomes a basketball player, Sana excels academically, and Juwon remains her spirited self. Their household now includes Jong, his 2 older brothers, and Mr. Kim. The whole family often gathers for breakfast together. One morning, the brothers discuss their first day at high school. Ju-won brings up the idea of formal adoption, suggesting that one of the older brothers should adopt them so they all have the same last name and become a united family, even in paperwork. Sana teases her, saying that since he's the oldest among the three of them, he should be the one to adopt everyone, which would make him their uncle. The siblings laugh it off, but Ju-won suddenly stands up, frustrated. She insists that having a common family name is essential for their peace of mind. The scene shifts to their childhood. Back then, Sana often brought snacks to school for Ju-won and Hye-jun, including a limited edition snack that Hye-jun particularly loved. Ju-won brought the snack to school one day to share with her best friend, but another girl sitting nearby accused her of stealing it, saying she had searched many stores for it. The argument escalates, and Ju-won becomes a target for bullying. Classmates start sending letters to Ju-won and Hye-jun through her, and when neither of them respond, the bullying worsens. Students start spreading rumors that Ju-won isn't really their sister, some suggesting she likes Hye-jun or Sana, and that she deliberately withholds letters meant for them. Hurt and isolated, Ju-won feels trapped, powerless against the bullying. Determined to protect herself in high school, Ju-won decides that a shared surname will strengthen her standing. She seeks advice from Hye-jun on the bus about how to avoid being bullied. Sana suggests she call a teacher, but Hye-jun tells her she needs to project an image of toughness or craziness to keep bullies away. If they succeed in bullying her once, they'll never stop. Taking his advice, when two senior girls approach Ju-won at school and give her love letters for Hye-jun and Sana, she insists they sign a contract saying they won't speak to her until they receive replies. Angered, one of the girls pushes her down, mocking her for not having a real family. Remembering Hye-jun's words, Ju-won decides to act crazier than the bullies. She begins counting aloud, deciding whom to be crazy with first. Infuriated, one girl raises her hand to hit her, but Ju-won grabs it and starts dragging her through the campus until they reach a pond. As they struggle, Jae-won's foot slips, and she falls into the dirty water. Everyone bursts out laughing, and the embarrassed Jae-won gets up, dripping wet. Ju-won plays innocent, pretending the girls were only trying to talk to her. Seeing this, the girls call her crazy, exactly what Ju-won had hoped for. She smiles, knowing she's achieved her goal. Her best friend, Park, rushes to Hye-jun on the basketball court to tell him about Ju-won's stunt. Sana's classmate also informs him, and both boys race to find her. Hye-jun arrives first and uses his t-shirt to clean her up. Sana tells the bullies to leave before he reports them. Afterward, Ju-won changes into clean clothes, and Sana angrily scolds Hye-jun for giving her advice to act crazy. But when Ju-won joins them, Sana stops, and they all board the bus home together. During the ride, everyone is disturbed by Ju-won's lingering odor from the pond. Hye-jun, barely able to contain his laughter, pulls her close, and they all walk home together. On the way, they run into an elderly couple from their building. The couple, pitying the children, comments on how tragic it is that Hye-jun and Sana are living without their mothers. Hearing this, Sana and Hye-jun feel hurt, but Ju-won cheerfully tells them that she's happy to have such special brothers. Her words warm their hearts, and they head home. Later, at dinner, Ju-won brings up adoption again. She believes that having a common family name will be beneficial for them in the future. Sana receives a call from his maternal grandmother but doesn't answer. When his grandmother calls Mr. Kim instead, he steps aside to talk, causing Sana to leave the table. Ju-won is upset and snaps at Mr. Kim, asking why Sana's grandmother still calls when his mother has remarried and is never coming back. Mr. Kim gently tells her to let it go. After dinner, Jung saves his ex-mother-in-law's number under ex-mother-in-law and decides not to keep in touch, realizing it's time to focus on his own children. Meanwhile, Hye-jun and Ju-won try to cheer Sana up by sneaking into his room with rice balls. Sitting on his bed, they tease him while he tries to study, but soon they catch a strange scent. Ju-won realizes it's her new shampoo and, annoyed, asks why Sana didn't tell them he was using their shared shampoo. He reminds them that they all bought it together during a buy one, get one sale. After some playful banter, Sana throws them out of his room. Before leaving, Hye-jun jokingly asks if she'll treat him like Oppa, prompting Ju-won to repeatedly call him Oppa and claims she'll charge him every time she uses the word. The next day, Sana's class teacher, impressed with his academic performance, suggests he apply to Seoul University, known as the top institution in the country. However, Sana feels conflicted as he doesn't want to leave home and would rather attend a nearby medical school. The teacher advises him to discuss this with his father. All of this is overheard by Lee-jeon, a classmate who invites Sana to the music room to talk privately. As they leave, Ju-won and Park notice them, and Ju-won is about to follow when Park stops her, telling her that Sana and Lee-jeon are dating. This revelation shocks Ju-won, as the entire school seems to know, but she's the last to find out. In the music room, Sana asks Lee-jeon why she wanted to talk privately, worried about rumors. Lee-jeon reveals she has feelings for Sana and wants them to go to Seoul University together. Sana rejects her, insisting she should follow her own dreams without involving him. Upset, Lee-jeon remains angry with Sana for the rest of the day. After the school, Jae-won confronts Sana, accusing him of hiding his relationship with Lee-jeon. Implying that Sana doesn't truly see Ju-won as family, Sana explains that for him, family isn't about legal documents but about genuine bonds, which leaves Ju-won conflicted. Meanwhile, Hye-jun is practicing basketball when he notices a man taking pictures of him from a distance. Hye-jun chases the man, who drops his camera and flees. Upon examining the camera, Hye-jun realizes the man had been taking photos of him. His friend suggests the man might have been hired by his mother, sparking memories of the day she left. Later, Hye-jun's aunt visits Jong with gifts for the children. Jong thanks her, but it's clear that Samin dislikes both Hye-jun's aunt and his mother, Ms. Kang, as she feels they didn't care for Hye-jun properly. Outside, Hye-jun greets his aunt warmly. As she prepares to leave, she advises him to always repay Jong's kindness, as he has taken great care of them. Back at home, Ju-won refuses to eat dinner, upset with Sana. Jong guesses she must have had a fight with Sana, prompting her to storm off. Sana follows her to apologize and clarifies that Lee-jeon isn't his girlfriend, but actually Hye-jun's ex. This eases Ju-won's mood, and she comes back to join the family for dinner, although she remains distant from Hye-jun, upset that she wasn't told the truth earlier. The next day, at school, Ju-won begins to ignore Hye-jun, and he asks Sana what he told her. Sana explains he revealed the truth about Hye-jun's past relationship with Lee-jeon. Hye-jun, realizing that Lee-jeon wants to rekindle their relationship, now sees through her intentions. In the past, she had broken up with Hye-jun for Sana, but when Sana rejected her, she tried to return to Hye-jun. This time, Hye-jun decides not to get involved, wanting to protect his sister's feelings. Ju-won confides in Park about Hye-jun's past relationship, and Park, who has feelings for Hye-jun, becomes momentarily saddened but quickly cheers up when she hears they've broken up. Later, Hye-jun spots the man who had taken his pictures. He learns from the school's watchman that the man was actually a private detective. Confused, Hye-jun wonders who would hire someone to spy on him, and soon after, he thinks he sees his mother. He follows her, calling out, but realizes it's a different woman. As the day ends, Sana and Jae-won gather for dinner, where Jong serves Hye-jun extra soup, knowing he needs energy for his upcoming basketball match. Ju-won, still feeling slighted, accuses Jong of favoritism, but he insists he treats them all equally. The following day at school, Hye-jun is practicing basketball again when a man arrives in a sports car holding a photo of him. After matching the face in the picture, the man introduces himself as Hye-jun's father. Shocked and speechless, Hye-jun stands frozen, bringing the episode to a dramatic close.